All right, let's get wild. I have not started with Incline Smith for what feels like a freaking, at least a few weeks. But only 3 plates. This Smith machine does not, let's say it doesn't help much. I think the bar pretty much damn near weighs close to what the bar should weigh. There's some weights in here. It doesn't, I don't think it says, but it's no more than 15 pounds of assistance. So this really does feel like 3 plates. But let's stop talking, man. I actually go nuts. Oh shit, one more. Oh, that was good. I really thought I was going to muscle that last one up. No, that was a good opener for today. One more. Ooh. Oh, okay. I think that's enough of the Smith. Let's do something else. Sit. Sit. So well behaved. Oh, good boy. All right, let's do a set for real. Let's keep up the momentum. Go from a heavy ass press to still heavy, but more of a squeezing focus press. And then after that, I can kind of do whatever. But let's start with these. Yeah. Okay, one more of those. We can talk about it after. There's something to be said about that style. Yeah. One more of those, and then we'll move on. Yeah. Okay. Let's finish with a fly superset, and I think we're fully pumped. I think this is going to be it. Flies, Insta presses into pose down. Yeah. 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 Let's pose down. All right. Overall, feeling like a beast. And what I'm really happy about this lift is I'm getting some upper chest through the shirt. You know, I'm talking like we're seeing some of those kind of cornering effects. Plus, this is a little bit of a wider neck shirt too, so it's got that kind of, it just adds to the freak factor. You know, the pump doesn't only revolve around, you know, how you actually hit the gym, but your lighting, it could affect your perception, you know? So if you can find somewhere cool, or at least decently cool, and see yourself peak pumped, and you just hit a good workout so you kind of have just extra endorphins already, odds are you're going to be much more excited about what you're doing, I think. But let's just see how we're looking. Oh, so I'd say we're about past phase 1. So now I call this phase 2, where leanness is becoming slowly but more gradually apparent. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. So fast forward another 4 weeks. Fast forward another 4 weeks beyond that, even. And these little bits of striations and cuts and just whatever that are slowly appearing, let's just say they're going to take center stage. But yeah, ain't nothing else to say. Let's give this freaking garage door shut and roll. Yeah, that was solid. That's, yeah, man, I don't know what was going on, but I was going nuts on Incline Smith. That was, I had 115 or 115 or whatever that Call of Duty Zombies song was, or whatever that song was. That was going crazy. That was just about right. And so honestly, everything after those 3 sets of Incline Smith, the workout had essentially reached a carrying capacity where there was no screwing it up. There was no risk of this workout started good but it didn't end that well. And if you can set the tone like that with your sets, then I think you're, well, let's just say you're better off, at least more than likely, you know, because if you start off with the scrappy set, I don't know if I can turn this around, today might just be an off day, not cool. You know, obviously those aren't excuses you should make, but those are kind of thoughts that could bubble up. You know, it's not as though I never have a thought that bubbles up where it's like, I don't know, man, maybe you should go light, or maybe whatever, or just maybe you shouldn't do it, or, you know, and sometimes they're right. Sometimes it's, okay, that's actually a protective thought, don't hurt yourself, good, you know, but there's also thoughts that just make you want to take it easy, you know, and make you want to back off and chill. And those are thoughts that don't deserve, what's the word? Well, they just don't deserve your mental energy to validate, you know. If I get a thought where it's, I should skip my cardio today. If I get a thought where it's like, you know, I could just go to bed and get another hour of sleep, and yeah, I've had the thought, you know, it comes up in your mind subconsciously, but it's how you choose to basically deal with it actively, right, with a conscious mind, that decides whether or not you're going to bring it or you're going to step back, right? Whether you're going to suit up or cozy up, you know, and get back in bed, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's those thoughts. It's like someone Well, what's a good example? You know, it's like someone coming to your door asking you if you want to get a home warranty, or asking if you want to get your roof reshingled, or asking you just something stupid, like some BS. You don't need it. It's not good for you, and yeah, you're not interested. But it's there. The thought has made itself apparent. Are you gonna say, yeah, maybe I'll skip legs. Maybe I'll skip cardio. This is a classic. You've been so good today. Come on, have a treat. Come on, it's right before bed. No one's gonna know. You know, you drive past Crumble Cookie every day. You know, I know there's Crumble has a chokehold on. I mean, shit. If there was somehow a way to invest in the BFP index, body fat percentage index fund, goddamn, man. I mean, people would make a killing, right? Because, I mean, that's kind of I don't even want to think about it. Like, how many pounds of body fat were gained this year? How many pounds of body fat were gained today? Not good. Not good at all. But, you know, all I'm trying to say is it's like sometimes you can overpower those subconscious thoughts by instantly shutting them down and saying in your mind, however you want to say it, I'm a baller. That's the thought that a punk would have, and then completely dismiss it from your mind and get back to work. You know, classic trope, guy's studying for an exam. He's working hard, he's serious. He's looking at his calendar, Mike Wazowski style. He's crossing off the days. And then somebody knocks on his door. Hey man, you coming to the Darty, bro? Dude, legs. Are you serious, dude? Freaking Trius Bumstead over here. This guy wants to work out. Yeah, you know, there's forces out there which, even though they're not intentionally malicious, they just want to get you off your game. You know, and that's why being locked in is kind of a, you know, I know everyone's been saying the phrase locked in. It's kind of losing its meaning a little bit, but like the idea of what locked in represents is always something to like achieve and constantly work towards, because you can always, you know, you can always get out of it. You can always chill. You can always just freaking, I mean, how many people just exist? You know, it's not something I want to do, man. Right? If I can, I really like the idea where it's, you know, the quote of like, look, man, if you're in a movie and you're the main character, what would you do if you wanted to actually watch it? You want to do cool stuff. And I don't even think you need that analogy. It's like there's a certain amount of autopilotness that we get because we're like mentally conscious, sentient, like we can think, you know, I think therefore I am kind of deal, where we're capable of like doing things very monotonously, right? Like the idea that you're living on autopilot, a little bit dissociated, you just go through the motions, like you can kind of catch yourself in that haze all the time, you know? Like if you're ever actually thinking about something while you're doing chores, and then you're just like, you're kind of mindlessly folding, you're washing dishes or cleaning up or whatever, or I gotta get a lawnmower, but I want to steal on it. I don't want to like get a crazy expensive lawnmower, so I'll look around. But like mowing the lawn, like sure, you're sitting there, you're doing this thing, but really your mind's somewhere completely else, right? So if that's the case, it's like if you can get yourself doing things that you know you're gonna like, it doesn't have to feel like a grind, and then you almost get to just watch your goals unfold, right? Like the guy who can go to the gym every day, the guy who can do his cardio and track his calories, and it's not a question, like it's just that's what he's doing. Well, then, you know, guess what? He doesn't have to kind of question himself constantly, like, am I gonna be able to do this? Can I stick to it? It's like he's proving to himself he can stick to it every day, so he can just watch these results appear. Like it's not as though it's completely thoughtless and effortless, but if it's what you do, well then that's just what you do, right? You don't have to, apart from the fact that they're looking for food, you don't have to tell a freaking shark to swim. You don't have to tell a horse to gallop, or or a freaking hawk to fly. It's just what they do, you know. So if you can kind of identify with consistency, and I don't mean identify as like, I want to be like this. It's like, this is what I do. I do this. I do my cardio in the morning. I track my calories. If I cheat on my diet, I'm not going to lie to myself. I'll tell myself I cheated on it, and I'll act accordingly going forward. Like if you can really, I almost want to say, get behind everything that you're doing, at least that you want to do. It's not like I'm not just chilling on my phone a lot of the time, like everybody else. But with the things that I really want to get after, like it's work hard when you're supposed to work hard, play hard when you're supposed to play hard, and try not to mix the two. That's a classic idea where it's like the badass business guy, Wall Street, whatever, is always thinking about like how he should be spending more time with his family when he's at work. And then when he's actually like hanging out with his family vacation style, he's just thinking about work. So he gets the worst of both worlds, So I guess to boil that down, once you walk in the gym, it's time to turn it on, right? Whether or not you feel like it, that's just a question of your prep pre-gym, right? If you get 2 hours of sleep, you screwed yourself a little. But you can kind of prove your grit if you still work out, which some may disagree with that. Some may say just take a rest day, whatever. Usually I'm one to lean into that prove your grit kind of mentality, where it's, maybe you were sick, maybe you didn't eat anything, maybe whatever, and then you still get after it just because then you're that kind of guy where nothing's going to stop you. But that's a case-by-case situation. If you got to prove it to yourself that you really want it, then I might recommend hitting it. But objectively, if I got 0 sleep last night and I was still awake from the day before, I probably shouldn't hit a lift. I should probably sleep. It's just more effective. But I don't want to be the guy who just like slacks off like that, if you kind of catch my drift. But yeah, plan now. I might just do the can method. That's where I've got a variety of proteins canned, sardines in water, tuna, canned chicken. Actually, those are the 3, and then just scoop out as many grams as required. The tuna cans are 33 grams each, so usually 2 of those with some sugar-free barbecue sauce does the trick. We'll see. But nothing wrong with a simple meal, especially in the pursuit of leanness. If you can handle it, at least it's not too bad to have a meal that only has 2 things in it. And by 2 things, I mean like a protein and some kind of like low-calorie sauce. But now I'm getting real deep into a ramble. How many different topics was that? I feel like I was kind of on a whatever. Good lift. I get to go home feeling good, and I'll be ready for some back tomorrow. I think I want to branch out, but I'm gonna be in the gym for a little while. I'm getting some extra stuff set up tomorrow, so I guess we'll just see what happens. But I'll see you then.